Welcome to part 2 of Understanding the Fair Credit Reporting Act with no other than Coach Nakesha. In the previous video, we went over the importance of understanding compliance, policy, and procedures, and also the importance of having your most recent, current, and up-to-date credit report. All right, so you should already have your credit report because you went to annualcreditreport.com, you downloaded your updated report. Also, if you was not able to get your report from annualcreditreport.com, then from there you were instructed to go to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, whichever agency you were not able to get it from annualcreditreport.com. So we went over the importance of understanding compliance and procedures when it comes to 15 State Code 1681. The next part that we went over inside our previous video, we went over the importance of understanding the procedures, right? When it comes to the procedures of the information that's being reported on your credit report, it is very imperative that you understand completely that that item of information has to be reporting accurately and complete. Accurate and complete. And here we are right here. So, inside the previous video, this is what went over. Procedure in case of disputed accuracy on the 15 State Code 1681I. I want you guys to understand that if you are sending your disputes to the Consumer Reporting Agency, this is where you need to be. Don't go no further. Right here, 15 State Code 1681I. Why? Because we already discovered that the item of information shall be reported as complete and also accurate. If the item of information is not complete or accurate, from there, we're able to submit a dispute directly or indirectly to the Consumer Reporting Agency in order to trigger what? That dispute. As they go through the process of the investigation, they shall be using reasonable investigation. They should be using or having a reasonable procedure in order to conduct that reasonable investigation. And this is the next part I want you guys to get into. All right. So when you look right here, it says prompt notice to dispute to furnisher of information. Furnisher of information would be like your credit card company, your loan company, whoever you're doing business with, the individual that's reporting that item of information to your consumer report, that would be the one that would be considered as the furnisher, which quote unquote the creditor, right? So there's a duty that the Consumer Reporting Agency must follow. Once they receive that notification that you are disputing an item of information on your credit report due to inaccuracy or incompleteness, they must promptly notify the furnisher of their information, and they have exactly 5 business days to do that. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that. So for number 1, you already pulled your first report. When you send out your letter, your dispute letter, you want to make sure that you send it out certified. You want to send it out certified with a tracking number. You don't have to do it with the green card signature. You don't have to do none of that. Just make sure you have a tracking number. That way you are able to track your documentation, and the day that it shows that it was delivered to the agency, that's the day that it starts to count down from the date that you receive it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right. So it says before the expiration of the 5 business day period, beginning on the date on which a consumer reporting agency receives notice of a dispute from any consumer. So I want you to understand that any means all. So it just, Congress told you that once they, which is the consumer reporting agency, receive your notice of dispute, right? They have exactly 5 business days to promptly notify the furnisher of the information that you, the consumer, has sent in a dispute to dispute some information that's either being reported incompletely or inaccurate. That's their duty. So that's what I want you all to understand. The next thing I want you all to understand is this right here. You already going to be sending out your letter 1, right? You should have already sent out letter number 1, which is this one right here that we showed in the previous video. Removing negative items. If you want to also send a letter to the debtor, the creditor, whatever you want to call it, you will use letter number 2. However, if you are only disputing with the credit reporting agency, only use the very first letter and then also use letter number 3. All right? You're going to use letter number 3 and you are going to respond to the consumer reporting agency based off of how they responded to you. If you got a deletion on the first round, kudos to you. I am so proud of you. However, if the information came back saying that the account came back verified or the information is going to remain, then I want you to go ahead and proceed to letter number 3. When you proceed to letter number 3, I want you to make sure that you have the current and updated report based off of the results of the reinvestigation. You are going to review that report. You are going to look at it, see if anything that you pointed out was updated, was it corrected, right? You want to look to see if you still see any type of discrepancies on the report. It could be look in the account section. You have to be very strategic, very patient. You have to have an eye to see. Look at the account status. Look at the amount that's owed. Look at the payment dates. Look at the payment history. Look at the payment ledger. Look at absolutely everything and begin to go line for line. And if you still see inaccurate information, then from there, my friend, I want you to go ahead and send out your response letter, which is going to be letter number 3, right? And I want you to mark up that particular documentation because that's going to be part of your evidence. And you're going to send them back a response letting them know that you still see discrepancies on your report. You also want to ask them what reasonable procedures did they use in order to determine the you want to ask them what reasonable procedures did they use and what in order for them to determine the information is accurate and also complete. All right. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to stop here, and that way we can take it slow and you're not overwhelmed. If you need further help, holla at your girl, and then from there, we'll go ahead and get something going. Other than that, reach out to me either via my website, which is NakeshaGordonEnterprises.com, or you can text me directly at 832-356-1593. This is no other than your girl, Coach Nakesha, bringing you some information that you can use. Let's go.